Hi everyone, my name is Paula Canales and I'm going to be demonstrating the Wattpad app. Wattpad is a social media platform dedicated to creative writing. As you can see from the front page, it's pretty easy to use. You can go straight to reading or writing, or go to the Browse tab and choose your preferred genre. It's also easy to access. You can create a login with your Facebook, Gmail account, or any other email. The basic version is free, but there are two premium versions that have a few extra features and unlock paid stories, but there are thousands and thousands of stories that are free. And then, of course, writing is also free, so there's really no need to spend any money to use this app. The ease of access and use of this app make it appropriate for any age, and the writing portion is appropriate for users of any age as long as they can use a computer. But because of the semi-professional writing featured in a lot of the stories, I would say that mostly high school or college learners are going to be attracted to the reading section. Some of the advantages that I noticed were that there is a lot of motivation for people to develop strong writing skills. You can show students all the ways that they can benefit from having strong writing skills. They have here a number of things from publishing to paid stories, some of their featured writers, contests, and then the Watties, which is an annual award that they give. And this might not be super applicable to ELL students, but it's a good way of getting them motivated and showing them the importance of developing strong writing skills. They also have mini lessons. So if I come to the top here, you can see that there's writer resources, ways to get inspired, ways to sharpen your writing skills, and then building an audience. Because like I said, it is a social media app, so once you publish a story, other people can comment on it, and it is public. So you can see here some of the little blog posts they have, talk about everything from tagging to developing characters, diverse characters, dialogue, point of view. And as teachers, I think this is a good resource for us. We could build entire lessons off of these blogs. So it's a great way for both teachers and students to get inspired and learn how to really get their writing skills up to par. Another thing that I thought was really good about this app is the amount of inclusivity. So if you go to just the Browse app, you can see here that they have diverse literature, LGBTQ literature, Black Pride literature. And then I think the Watties of 2020 had a focus on female empowerment. So it seems like they're really dedicated to encouraging anyone from any walk of life to express themselves and get their story out, which I think is especially encouraging to our ELL students because writing and talking about themselves in a different language might be something that's difficult for them, but to see that they can be included along with traditional writers would be really beneficial to them. Some of the disadvantages, there weren't many, but some of the stories are inappropriate, so that's another reason that this might be better for older learners. Writers can tag or flag these stories as inappropriate, so they can veer away from that, or you can have your students veer away from that if you don't think it's appropriate. But if the writer doesn't flag the story, you might have students running into some inappropriate stuff on here, so it's best to just keep, elementary level students away from it. And then there are far fewer features than Google Suites, for example. There's no interactive editing available. You can only have one person working on a story at a time, which I think kind of takes away from some of the uses you could have for a class. But as far as applications to SAMR, for supplementation and augmentation, obviously students can just include pictures and video. There's not as many tools for the writing as Google Suites, for example, would have, but I did think that the imagery and video is a neat way of including kind of a multimodal aspect to traditional writing. And then, like I said earlier, students can publish their work, have it accessible only to people in the class, and then they can take turns commenting on each other's work. So that's another really good way to augment traditional pen and paper writing. I have here an example of an assignment that students could start working on for this app. So you could have students respond to a prompt, either written, pictorial, or video. And for the purpose of these two, I would just have students focus a story on a very kind of vague line or picture and just have each of the scenes described featured somewhere in the story. And then if interactive writing was available for modification and redefinition, you could have students take turns writing a paragraph at a time to create a collaborative narrative. And then it would be really important to emphasize to students that they need to tie in their reading with the previous, to tie in their writing to the previous writer's story. So don't introduce an entirely new genre in your paragraph. It would require students to understand and kind of analyze what they had read from their previous students' writing, and then to begin their paragraph by playing off of that idea and then slowly introduce new details and plot as they work through the paragraph. So there's a lot of activities that you could have students do with this app that would improve writing skills and that could involve interaction and communication with other students. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed learning about Wattpad.